I guess it's just that it's something so big, the shape of the earth. You're just gonna, oh, some guy on Facebook told me they won 2 court cases. Hence, the earth is flat. Are you serious? That's what I hate. That's what I hate. You're not even gonna check into it. You're just gonna believe some idiot on Facebook. Oh, some idiot told me, so I guess the earth is flat. The earth is flat? The thing is, it's kind of an important question to just change your mind, like, oh, I guess it's not a sphere. That literally changes everything, doesn't it? Oh, the earth is flat. Okay, so treat it a little bit more seriously. I guess that's my thing. That's my thing, you know, like, you're just gonna pass, oh, well, they won 2 court cases. Why don't you look up the court case and see how does that prove the earth is flat? When you look it up, what you find out is it was a liability thing, or it was a, what do you call it when you're talking shit about somebody? Defamation. It was a defamation case or something. A court case can't prove the earth is flat, idiot. I've always liked making arguments. When you grow up and you go to college, it's called philosophizing. So I don't mind doing this or looking obsessive or something, because I think that critical thinking is important. I know it's important. Food is falling out of my mouth. I've employed a logical fallacy called straw manning. I made his argument look stupid and didn't actually get to the point he was making. Here was the point he was making. He didn't make his point very well. Instead, he took a shortcut and said, well, they won 2 lawsuits. But the point he was making was that flat earth people make a good point. The point they're making is that you and I can't easily prove in the real world that the earth is flat. In other words, with our own information, the point they're making is that with our own information, we can't prove the earth is flat. In other words, 650 people have been to space. 80% of those have done a rotation of the earth. But you know what? How do I know that? Because I read it. It's the official information given out by the space agencies. The space agencies differ just very slightly on the number of people, by the way, because the edge of space is not so sharply defined. It's more, is this space or is this space? You know, that's, where's the edge? It's an interesting topic, but 80% of those have done a rotation of the earth. Are all those people lying? Okay, now, what if they are? Maybe they're all lying. Okay, here's my second argument. Have you seen the photographs of the wind turbines out in the ocean that are lined up? They're lined up. Here's the big one that's close to you, and then they get smaller and smaller and smaller until they're this high above the water. A wind turbine doesn't work if it's half submerged underwater. So obviously, we're looking at the curvature of the earth. There's another one, high tension lines, same thing. They go down. You can see that the earth, you know, is spherical because they go lower. Okay, that's my second thing. That's a photograph. I don't know. Photoshop, somebody has worked on making it look, I don't know. Go to where these are, the Dutch people, where they live. That's where you can see these wind turbines. What's the, I don't feel like thinking about it. Where do Dutch people live? Amsterdam? What's that country called? Anyway, go there to see it with your own eyes. Okay, here's my other argument. A lens is a shaped piece of glass. I can take a lens, otherwise known as a telescope, out into my own backyard, and I can look at the rings of Saturn. I can see the details of those other planets through a lens, a physical piece of glass. Now, that's deductive reasoning. Just because all the other planets are spherical, seen with my own eye using a lens, Doesn't mean that our planet is spherical. So now I'm Iron Manning his point. I'm Steel Manning his point. I'm making his point for him. I'm doing it better than he could. The point that the flat earth people are making is that it's very difficult for us to prove in the real world with our own eyes that our earth is flat. We can prove the other planets are spherical, but we can't prove our own planet is spherical. Okay, well, it's called deductive reasoning. If all the other planets are spherical, ours probably is too. So, technically, the flat earth people have a point. Just because all the other planets are spherical doesn't mean ours is. And that's why those people like to call this a realm. We live in a realm. Here's my thing. Cut to the chase. These are Jesus people. They want to make it sound like the rapture is something feasible. That's what it is. These are people who they don't want to admit, oh, the rapture might be real. They don't want to say that because then they're going to get argument. They'd rather talk about the earth is a realm. We live in a special place that God made for us, and all the other planets are spherical, but not ours because the firmament, that means there's water up there because it's in the Bible. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's called intellectual yoga or whatever, to contort your intellect into thinking that you're making a good argument. I'm sorry. I'm pretty much going to go with deductive reasoning. If all the other planets are spherical, so is ours. I'm just going to go with that. I'm just going to live with that slight bit of uncertainty because it's logical. If God didn't want logic to be a thing, he wouldn't have given it to us. Use what God gave you, and that is logic. Here's a little discussion about logic and debate, interacting with someone. Someone said, I can't remember who it was, it may have been Vivek Ramaswamy, said that Mr. Art of the Deal knows how to do this. You have to get someone to the table to interact, to talk with you. You can't avoid them like what some of those politicians said about Russia and North Korea. No, you don't just radio silence and think that things are going to work out. If you have a dangerous opponent out there somewhere, you have to interact with them. You have to engage with them. Little Rocket Man. Do you remember this? Little Rocket Man. That ended up being a successful interaction. Do you remember how all that went down? It started with insults, Trump saying Little Rocket Man because it was about nuclear rockets. That's something very serious. That's how he got the conversation started with Kim Jong-il. I forget which. The son, the current leader. And they ended up becoming chummy. It was a good interaction. Even Elton John said so. Seriously. Even Elton John didn't mind his use of the term Rocket Man.